Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Marino, and I am the Director of Ergonomics and Human Factors with HeroWear. I would like to thank the conference and special session organizers for inviting me to give this presentation. I hope you are all safe and healthy, and that we can gather together in person very soon. What should we expect from passive back-assist exosuits? Exos are still relatively new in the grand scheme of things, and there is a tremendous need to educate users who associate exoskeletons with Hollywood sci-fi films like Iron Man. It's important that exoskeleton users have realistic expectations when they wear passive devices. At HeroWear, we strive to help people feel better. Too many people do physically demanding jobs with daily back pain. We are building wearable technology to reduce some of the burden on their low back. We live and breathe passive exosuits and have some things we'd like to share about what we should expect from these devices in the workplace. Here's our global transportation system, which moves the goods we all use around the world. 53% of world trade is in manufactured goods, and 99% of those goods are handled by human hands. I've treated and worked with many people in food manufacturing who were proud to, as they would often say, feed the world. The food they produced was distributed worldwide, and they played a key role in manufacturing it. But there are others that deserve recognition for this amazing feat. The logistics workers who take that food and move it to our grocery stores, and in some cases right to our doorstep, also play a pivotal role in feeding and supplying the world. Logistics workers handling our goods lift and haul heavy loads, in some cases 2,000 to 3,000 times per shift. This work takes its toll. Back injuries are a global issue. They are common, costly, and painful. Anyone who's ever experienced back pain knows how stressful and debilitating it can be. Many workers, about 25 to 50% in logistics, can't even tolerate these jobs, and they are forced to quit by fatigue or pain, and it's expensive to recruit and train new workers when this happens. In America, about 36% of workers spend much of their time at work bending and lifting, many of whom have back pain, and exoskeletons have a huge opportunity to help. In the video we are about to see, a worker from our logistics field study is doing a common distribution center job task. He's splitting a pallet of goods. The worker can be seen removing the shrink wrap, lifting and lowering cases onto pallets, and labeling goods so they get to the right location. This video is about 10 minutes worth of footage, sped up 10 times normal speed to give you a sense of the physical demands. In this video, the worker bends about 73 times, or an average of 7 to 8 times per minute, and he does this job all day. If he bends 7 times per minute for 7 hours of his shift, he's bending almost 3,000 times, with many of these involving a load. What is missing from the end of the video is the worker shrink wrapping the pallets so they can be picked up by a forklift and loaded onto a trailer. Shrink wrapping can be done with machines, but in many cases, workers do this task manually, which involves sustained, repetitive bending motions in quick succession. Let's not forget that this worker almost certainly bends and lifts outside of work too. When considering weekends off and 2 weeks of vacation per year, he bends at least 3,000 times per day for about 250 days per year. So he's bending over 750,000 times per year, and there's no way to design his job to be any less physically demanding for his lower back. There are so many workers like him, and it's no wonder so many of their backs hurt. In keeping with the theme of this special session, can we expect passive exoskeletons to be able to help workers like the one we just observed? Based on our work, we believe exos can help logistics workers reduce the back strain from the hard work they do, reduce their fatigue, and help them feel better. We believe in our Apex exosuit because we've taken a bio-inspired, user-centric design approach and performed rigorous testing. In these studies performed at Vanderbilt University, a prototype exosuit was found to reduce back muscle activity and fatigue while bending and lifting. Because of these studies and the field research I will talk about shortly, we have high confidence that our exosuit reduces back strain and fatigue for the types of postures and movements performed thousands of times per day by logistics workers. Because even relatively mild reductions in strain translate into significant reductions in tissue breakdown, exosuits like this have good potential to help address the problem we have with back pain and injury. The exosuit is well suited to be able to achieve these results because its design complements the human body's own design. With the Apex exosuit, there's a force being applied in the same direction as the back muscles, but further away from the spine, which is the fulcrum of this lever system. The further the force is from the fulcrum, the more efficient the lifting power. That means the same work can be done with less total force being applied. Expecting passive back-assist exosuits to reduce back strain and fatigue is obvious, and this capability is not unique amongst these types of devices. This takes me to the next and most important thing we should expect from back-assist exos, which is that they improve people's lives without interfering in any way. In my experience working with exoskeletons for the past 6 years, this is the major challenge to overcome if we wish to see widespread user acceptance and adoption of exotechnology in the workplace. The human body and mind are designed in beautiful, complex ways that are still not fully understood by science. Take the musculoskeletal system here, for example. People view it and how it functions in a variety of different ways, ranging from stick figure physics diagrams to linked chains to tensegrity structures and more. For years, we have seen exostudy after exostudy find that passive devices can reduce strain and fatigue on parts of this system, but often with some trade-offs like movement restriction, discomfort, or some kind of interference with work tasks. Back-assist exos, like the Apex, that more closely resemble our body's own design, can augment target tissues and structures without restricting or interfering with others. This allows users to get relief in overloaded areas of their body that are not well designed for the stress being placed on them at work, without increasing stress elsewhere. For example, the Apex reduces strain on back, hip, and knee extensors without increasing strain on back, hip, and knee flexors. It does this in a few ways. The Apex has a proprietary patent-pending dual-mode switch, which makes it quasi-passive. When it is engaged, gravity and the user's body weight do the work to assume the hinge or squat position. The Apex supports and assists the user in these postures and when returning up to standing. In disengaged mode, the Apex behaves like clothing, allowing unrestricted mobility. Since the biggest barrier exoskeletons continue to face is user acceptance, this was a major focus for this logistics field study here, effects of a back-assist exosuit on logistics worker perceptions, acceptance, and muscle activity. Here are some of the results from the extended abstract that we submitted for the conference proceedings and this presentation. This work was conducted with real logistics workers in the real world. Unlike many exoskeleton studies, while back muscle EMG was part of our approach, our focus was on perceptions and acceptance because of how important they are. I'm not saying that EMG isn't important, but we'd already done the research on back muscle activity and fatigue, which I shared earlier in the presentation. In this study, workers were introduced to the exosuit and the testing protocol during a 45-minute period. They then performed a simulated lifting task that closely matched their job requirements. During this time, EMG data was collected while they repeatedly lifted a 22-pound box from a pallet and turned to set it down on a table, before reversing the process and lifting the box from the table back to the pallet. This cycle was repeated 15 times by each subject, with and without the exosuit, using their natural lifting technique. After completing the simulated lifting tasks, workers returned to their normal job for 20 to 30 minutes of real-world exosuit testing. After this, they completed the questionnaire seen here. The EMG plot of suited versus unsuited lifting in the upper right corner of the slide is an example of the muscle activity reduction of an individual user while lifting with versus without the exosuit. On average, the 11 subjects involved in this research experienced a 10% reduction in back muscle activity while performing the repetitive lifting task. If you want more information, you can read this extended abstract or view the recording of the WearRAcon presentation that I gave with Dr. Matthew Yandell back in March, where we went into more detail about the EMG testing and results. The recording is posted on HeroWear's YouTube channel. What I would like to draw attention to today is the overwhelmingly positive worker perceptions, which indicate good potential for back-assist exosuit acceptance and adoption in logistics environments. This work contributed to further development and commercialization of the Apex exosuit, which we launched this past March at WearRAcon USA. We believe that because of the bio-inspired features of the exosuit and the user-centric design, 100% of the subjects in this study felt the exosuit would be useful and not interfere with their ability to do their job, and that they would be interested in using the device for a longer period of time. The subjects also perceived the assistance that the device provided to them and how it helped them lift at work in a way that was easy to use, comfortable, and unobtrusive. So, what should we expect from passive exoskeletons? They should help when people need them and get out of the way when they don't. People should be able to put them on and almost forget they are wearing them, set them and forget them. Our users should tell us that they feel like our exos become a part of them. We should expect exos to improve people's lives without interfering with them. Exoskeleton technology is here today and here to stay. Human beings will continue to do hard work, and human hands will continue to feed and supply the world. The future of work will include exoskeletons. We envision a future where workers across numerous industries use exoskeletons to help them perform physically demanding jobs. With the assistance of exotechnology, workers of the future will have fewer injuries, less chronic pain, and their careers will not be cut short. The future is one where technology like exoskeletons help workers go home from work vibrant, with more energy and capacity to enjoy their hobbies and care for their families. They will retire able rather than disabled. We have work to do as an exoskeleton community to continue to improve and normalize our products. But if we do everything right, the people of the world will one day look back and wonder how workers ever did certain jobs without exoskeletons. Thank you.